is the meaning of life? The meaning of life cannot be grasped through light-hearted speculation, nor through the superficial weaving of thoughts born from transient inspirations. It demands depth, sincerity, and an earnest volition to align oneself with the immutable laws of God, which permeates the whole universe in solemn majesty. Life is not a fleeting accident, nor a morbid dream that vanishes in stupor. Rather, it is the conscious unfolding of God's will within creation, to which every human spirit is bound in reciprocal responsibility. Whoever seeks to understand must step away from the idle indulgence and approach in reverence, with respect and recognition of the glory of the Holy Word. That alone brings clarity and simplicity to the questions of existence. The human spirit in its primordial beginning was sent forth, pure and radiant, into creation, clothed in garments of the animistic and elemental realms, that it might mature through experience, through struggle, through testing, and through joy. This journey is not haphazard, for the laws of God work unerringly, guiding each proclivity and volition either upward into wholesome development or downward into debased estrangement. The meaning of life is not hidden, but men have clouded it in darkness by usurping their rightful dominion, placing self above the divine, and casting themselves into confusion by violating the simple laws set before them. At its core, the meaning of life is to recognize and consciously align with the will of God, to grow in purity, chastity, and holiness, to contribute harmoniously to the upbuilding of creation. This requires intuitive perception, which has been smothered in many by the obstinate pride of intellect, whose cold rigidity quenches the warmth of the spirit. Man was meant to live in homogeneity with the laws of creation, cooperating with the elemental helpers and beings that serve in the maintenance of the universe, moving in reciprocity with the holy will. Yet, instead of reverence and gratitude, he chose dominion and exploitation, thereby breaking the harmonious flow of radiation that should have nourished his soul. The consequence of this misuse is karmic entanglement, binding him in chains that must be dissolved before he can move upward again. Herein lies the justice of God, which acts with ineffable clarity, never pushing arbitrarily, but weaving unerringly the effects of each volition into subsequent experiences until the recognition and transformation awaken in the soul. To meditate on God's word is therefore the most solemn task of existence, for in it the human being receives the light of understanding that illuminates his path and leads him back into alignment. The word is not to be engaged with superficially or twisted according to personal whim, but absorbed genuinely in humility, letting its depths permeate heart and spirit. In doing so, one perceives the grandeur of post-creation, where all forms and beings have their place, each contributing to the whole in justice and necessity. The elemental helpers labor ceaselessly, the animistic realms bring forth abundance, and the ethereal planes carry the threads of human volition, weaving them into forms that return as experiences, as destiny, as karmic lessons. Within this web of reciprocal action, man finds his schooling. His conscience awakens when he acts against the holy law, and in his connection the conscience lies the divine compass, pointing him ever towards truth, purity, and reverence. To ignore it is to sink into stupor, but to obey it is to rise upward in joy and freedom.